Get some expert information around the Inter-Dominions this evening. The program at Albion Park underway 7 minutes past 8 local time. And Adam Hamilton, who is certainly a harness racing expert, joins us to talk through the heats this evening. A very good afternoon to you, Adam. I get the feeling everyone, like a World Cup final, was trying to not look too far ahead with the clash of the brothers. But when you look back on night number one, it just seemed in both gates that the quality shone on through.
Yeah, g'day to you, Bevan, and all of the viewers out there as well. Look, you're right. It was largely a night of the stars shining opening night last Friday at Albion Park. Challenging conditions, wet conditions there, but the only disappointment on the night was the New Zealand-owned mare, Queen Elida. She ran second, but she was surprisingly run down in her heat, and we'll chat more about her soon. But yeah, it's an important night tonight for a few horses. They step up from the 1660 sprint distance on night one out to a slightly middle range distance you call the 2138 metres for round two tonight, Bevan.
Let's look into race number 2 on the program. That is this Heat 5. And here we have Swayze, who will appreciate the step out. There is a few curveballs in here with all the winners from night number 1, Adam, being drawn the second row.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that Swayze, so there's 7 across, you can see Swayze's 8. That means inside back row for him. In the words of the Connections, worst possible draw. I don't think they can afford to snag right back. We're watching number 2, Speak the Truth, who Pete said so from 1's got early speed. Speak the Truth will be pushing forward, trying to get to the front. Deus Ex in 4 might get across the mall and then look to take a trail. So, but Speak the Truth, really high quality 4-year-old. If he can find the front, he'll give Swayze something to beat. Here is Swayze on night 1, Bevan. He got around in his own time, if you like, to get to the front here. He needed to be sort of woken up on the home bend by Cam Hart because he is a stayer and the sprint trip didn't suit him. But watch this last little bit. See how he's pulling away again? It's becoming a trend of his. He's so strong on the line. And if you were to run that replay around, as we saw in the New Zealand Cup, after the line, Cam Hart said the best part he felt all night last Friday was 50 metres after the winning post. He was really, really building into it, Swayze, and he'll appreciate the extra distance. Cam Hart's just going to need to get a bit of luck and drive with the brilliance we're becoming accustomed to, because inside the back row, he'll push through behind Pete said so. He'll look to get away from the inside. If he can't, he'll be 3 back on the marker pegs, and then he's going to need luck in the final stages. Swayze is going for 11 from 11 since joining Jason Grimson's stable.
It's scary. If he's only improved from the New Zealand Cup, the source, he is scary going forward into next week's final. Let's have a look at the next heat, Adam, and Better Eclipse comes up $1.80 favourite here. Had to do it the hard way in night number 1 and looks to have to again do that from that draw.
Yeah, and if you take reputations and past form out of it and just say, what did we see on night 1? Better Eclipse was probably the straight-out most impressive of the 4 pacing winners. He defied the peg bias. He covered ground. You can see him sitting outside of the local captain shuffles here. And I just like the way that he almost arrogantly ran up to them. That's Better Zippet sort of dropping off his back there in the blue and yellow. But he just wins it so impressively, doesn't he? And pulls right away at the finish. So I think you could argue he's produced career best wins at his last 2 starts. He does draw the back row. He's going to have to do work again. There's a little bit more depth to this race because you can see that good support there for Narano. He was an eye-catching run. We'll have a look at that replay soon of Leap to Fame from night 1. You'll see Narano flashing down the outside. So if Narano can get across and lead, he might give some cheeky, Bevan.
Then we see another superstar in the next heat. It is Leap to Fame. He's $1.15 with the New Zealand TAB. He's run 151 flat the last mile, and I'm not sure where his ceiling is, but it's pretty high, Adam.
Yeah, look, it certainly is. He just did it easily on night 1. He's drawn the back row. But I think what we'll see here is Spirit of St. Louis will lead, and then Leap to Fame will look to get going, probably come round and trying to take the front off him. So you know, as you'd expect, he was the fastest of the 4 heat winners on night one. He was able to get the front. But have a look at Narano running on. I mean, Leap to Fame was strangled to the line, but Narano really put a gap in the rest of them, and I liked his run there. So I think he could be a bit of a challenger in his heat. But Leap to Fame, he can't do any more than that. He ticked all the boxes on night one. As I said, in my mind, I think he'll make an early move, come around, get outside of Spirit of St. Louis. And I think Spirit of St. Louis will be happy to take a trail on him. So he's a dominant favourite still to win the final, but Swayze's looking equally good. It's an incredible situation to have half-brothers dominating the betting.
We change gate now into the Trotters, Adam, and in the first heat tonight, Queen Aletta, who was run down by Plymouth Chubb late, looks to make her recompense for that. And of course, Olivici was very good when we saw it in night number one.
Yeah, both of them were strong New Zealand connections, being, you know, bred over there, and Queen Aletta starting her career over there. So, look, Olivici got a beautiful run in behind Mufasa Metro night one and got the job done. But Queen Aletta to be beaten was a bit of a surprise. She led, she got things her own way. Plymouth Chubb was able to get out at the right time and didn't just pick her up, he absolutely flew past her. So the theory from the team is she might have tied up a little bit, maybe needed the run, Queen Aletta. But Inter Dominions evolved quickly. Suddenly she's gone from being, you know, right there with Just Believe as the top seeds in the series to Just Believe being on a pedestal and her now having to make a bit of a statement. So look at the gap between them. This is remarkable. Like, she's highballing in front, and Plymouth Chubb's given her a good 4 lengths on the home bend. But watch how easily he picks up Queen Aletta, and she doesn't really pull away from Sir Fahrenheit either. So, you know, you've got to say she was disappointing, but if they feel that she's sort of tied up, Chris Elford said that she wasn't trotting at her best on the night. But, gee, Plymouth Chubb was very impressive, the way that he just unleashed and flew past Queen Aletta. So, but she'll get her way to the front again tonight. Let's hope she's on top of her game and makes a little bit of a statement tonight, Bevan.
There's some great stories around the Interminions in totality, but one of the great ones is Just Believe, who's $1.65 back defending, and of course went to Europe and raced with great credit and back in fine form. And then you've got Plymouth Chubb in this heat, and we'll get that frontline draw at him.
And has really good gate speed, Bevan. So Sir Fahrenheit flies out, but it'll take a sit on Plymouth Chubb. I can't see anything else getting across them. And then Plymouth Chubb, you got Cam Hart, who'll be rating this young trotter, only a 4-year-old against the older rivals in front. I think we're going to find out more about where Just Believe's at here. 2 runs back have been absolutely superb. And he was, well, it was total arrogance, wasn't it? He dictated in front the other night and just absolutely cruised home, Just Believe. So he would track work harder than he did in this race the other night. Look at Greg Sugars. You'd think it's the start of the race, not the finish. So, but he's going to have to do a lot more tonight. I think this is going to be a real highlight of the night, the clash of these 2 trotters. If Plymouth Chubb can lead and run up to what we saw from him on night one, I think he's really, really going to test Just Believe tonight.
Do you favour one, the 220 Plymouth Chubb or the $1.65 of the Proven Horse?
Oh, look, I wish I got on the early at about the $3 Plymouth Chubb before the money came, because you know, I think he's got the chance to cause the upset there. But the way the markets are at the moment, look, I hate to sit on the fence, but look, if I had to have a bet, I would still take the $1.65 Just Believe, because he really does look like he's come back from Europe even better than when he left.
Okay, let's move from tonight to what's going to happen in a few days' time, and that is the final. So here is the Pacers market, and probably the best 2 in Australasia headed up, Leap to Fame 175 and Swayze at 350. That's hard to say for a Kiwi, but it's, I imagine, a fact there, Adam, that the top 2 are outstanding.
Yeah, Cooter's a wonderful horse, but he was no match for Swayze in the New Zealand Cup, and I think Leap to Fame's probably got a little bit more on the board than a Cooter at this stage. So, you know, Aussie bias aside, I think they are the top 2 pacers in this part of the world at the moment, and being half brothers and clashing in this series adds so much. But better Eclipse, you can see 15 into $9 because he was so good on night one. Now, Rock and Roll Do, he could be in a world of pain here. He's drawn wide again tonight. He was disappointing on night one. If he doesn't run top 3 tonight, he's in danger of missing the final. Spirit of St. Louis has the good draw and should pick up points in his march towards the final. But I still don't believe there should be that much between Swayze and Leap to Fame.
I was intrigued in Nerano's price, actually, just on its first night run. Let's have a look at the Trotters, and this is how the market franks up. And it is Just Believe, and with the proven form on the board, 150. If Queen Elida does the job tonight, that might change a little bit.
Yeah, could, because $4 out to $6 because she was beaten on night one. If she can come out and really make a statement tonight, she'll probably be back into $4. And Plymouth Chubb's a big one, isn't it? Look, 67 opening, blew them away night one into $7. Imagine if Plymouth Chubb beats Just Believe tonight, probably into about $4. So tonight is more of an evolving night for the Trotters, I think, Bevan, than it is for the Pacers.
Okay. We do thank you for your time. We've got to head off to the next set of Palmerston North, but really looking forward to the action tonight. And there's just so many wonderful stories around the Inter-Dominions this year.
Certainly is, Bevan. And just a quick one, the final, they've announced will be run 6:30 Brisbane time, which means it'll be, what does that make it, about 9:30 New Zealand time. So it's watchable. It's watchable, is it?
Yeah, so, absolutely. It absolutely is. And I see there's been a bit of traffic on Twitter around that, Adam. It hasn't been one-way traffic that it's a great decision.
Well, I think it's great. It's a slightly busy racing night because you've got Damien Oliver's last ride, you've got the Phoenix for the Greyhounds and the Inter-Dominion. So I like it anyway.
Okay. Catch up soon. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Bevan.